Hi there, it's Louise with you of Timeless Craft Mama, and today I'm sharing a scrapbook layout process video created for Colour Blast. Now this page is got a couple of different techniques that I want to share with you. So let's have a look at the layout, which I've titled Really. And the first thing that I've done is actually included the reverse part of a cut file. So you can see there that I've used my mat to cut out a cut file. Now while the reject pieces, let's call them, are still on the mat, I'm actually going to add some glue to the reverse and then put a patterned piece of paper on the other side. I've allowed the glue to dry overnight, then I come back, peel the mat off, and you're left with this really great reverse sort of cut file pattern. So nice easy way to use up some scraps without throwing them in the rubbish. Now because I'm going to be adding some Colour Blast mediums to this layout, I'm going to prep first with clear gesso. Then I've chosen some colours. Now the colours that I've chosen are Lagoon in the Shimmer Spray, Envy in the Lagoon is just in the ordinary colour spray, Envy is in the shimmer spray, and then Deep Water in the shimmer cube. Now what I'm doing is just using a paintbrush on each of these little areas where I've placed the cut file. I'm going to spread the medium just by splattering it with the stamp block. And I'm going to repeat this process a number of times because I'm going to go through and do this with each of the different Colour Blast products that I've got. So you can sort of see how the colours have worked together, and when the colour's not spreading well, I'm just adding a little bit of extra water using that stamp block, and you really get this quite interesting mixed media background going on. Now, because it is mixed media, it's not important to be neat, and the easiest way to tidy things up when they're a little bit sort of messier is with some splatters. So I am also using some splatters as well. And looking at it as I'm working on it, it's really quite dark. So I'm going back in with more of the Envy because it has more of a sort of a lighter type of colour, and it has that beautiful shimmer as well. I'm also leaving blank the area of the layout where I know I'm going to place my photos. So there's no point in putting colour in the background if you're going to cover it up. So knowing where your photos go is sometimes a good way to actually work out how much medium you have to add to a background. Now I've also added some doodling around that cut file. So just with a black marker I've gone around and just highlighted that, and I think it really helps lift it off the page. Now, at this point, I sort of had a photo in mind, and also the title, which as you can see is this really thicker phrase, and it's sort of a really bright green. So I love that it lifts off that turquoisey kind of background. And with that title in mind, that's how I sort of chose my photos, and it's these pictures of Master C, and he is standing up swinging on the swing in a way that's completely not how a swing should be used. So that's why the title is Really. And what I've done to help highlight the photo and separate it from the mixed media background is just to add this sort of paper cluster. And everything that you can see here is actually from my reject pile of papers. So I'm trying really hard in 2018 to stash bust as much as I can, which means that I am reaching more into my little collection of embellishments and also into my offcuts of paper. So I'm just using things like banners and circles and little saying cards mixed in with the new Thickers title, and of course a mixed media background is a great way to bring everything together. Now I'm liking this background, but I don't know, it needed something. So I'm going to have a little go with this stencil and some black gesso, and I practice first under the photo to see if I actually like the way it looks on the page, and then if I do like the way it looks, that's when I actually go around and do it on areas of the layout that are going to show. So knowing where your photo goes is a really good way to actually have a practice area on a page to see sort of what you like and what you don't. So I go with the black gesso through the stencil. I thought about doing stamping, but I went with the black gesso. So the final thing I'm going to do is add some journaling, and off camera I go ahead and attach everything down. But I really like this sort of mixed media background with the reverse cut file. So I hope you enjoyed that on behalf of Colour Blast. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.